Sip and smoke. What are we doing? Yeah, we're doing a sip and smoke, I guess. Yeah, we have some tea to drink. I'm out here in the cantina, the cantina. Welcome, bow butters. As the title says, I'm going to smoke the Nomad Sumatran. Let me get this here so I can light it. Hopefully this thing holds. Yeah, there we go. There we are. Yeah. Welcome, bow butters. Let me see if I can see the chat. I can't see the chat with the sunglasses, but that's okay. I'm going to need the sunglasses anyways. Hopefully people can hear me. If not, that's okay. This is the Nomad Ezra Sumatran. We've smoked these before, and I'm having, guys, I don't know. It doesn't matter to anybody, but the problem I'm having is the cigars I got are just too valuable. They're just like, my casual smokes are at the $20 range now. Like even these were, what were the Sumatrans? Were they in that $9 range, almost $10 range? Package of 5 from Nomad Ezra out of Texas. I got the Vendetta, Nomad Vendetta cigars. I was going to smoke one of those because these are the cheap, now some of the more inexpensive cigars that I have, because some of the very inexpensive cigars that I have gone into vintage. And that's why I like Privada Cigar Company. I like what he's doing. Oh, the cigar check. The watch check. As you guys know, this has been my daily beater. And today I finally put on some lenses or some glasses that let me see all the scratches along the bezel here. Like right here along the bezel, there's tons of scratches. The casing, which is this piece right here, is pretty good. And then the band or strap is pretty good. Bracelet, I should say, because it's a bracelet, except for, of course, this part right here. So there's a ton of scratches there. And I think a lot of them are just from me using my computer. And I think the temperature, those folks at the Cubs game right now are going to end up feeling the coolness, because once that sun drops, it's going to get a little chilly out here. I'm in my shorts with no socks and anything, so I might have to take a break quickly. I'm going to not do it right now. It took me a while to get out here. I misjudged the whole day because I did a 16-hour shift basically last night, which I don't get paid overtime, which I'm not happy about, but it is what it is. And yeah, because it sort of counts, or the way they do it. It's like, okay, so you're off today, but you did a 16-hour shift, so you end up like sleeping, getting home at 6 a.m. or whatever, 6:30, sleeping for a bit till like 1, and then I took another nap, right? So I woke up and then took a nap. Let's see what people are saying here. I said, hello, everybody, hello. Do you have the communion? Yes, I have the communion. Yes. This is for the enclave, for the Pope. We're going to start, Santo Spiritu. I mean, I sort of felt bad. I mean, it was not a joke for me. I guess it's a joke. It's a joke when I do it. I felt a little bad if I'm not a good Catholic because I posted a picture of me as the Pope. And I don't know if that's the thumbnail that you're referring to. I do have the communion. It's right here. It's the Nomad Ezra cigar. We're going to smoke the cigar. We're going to start smoking fairly quickly. And I'm going to have it with the Moser Roth, a little chocolate here. This Moser Roth, 90% cocoa, just straight chocolate. The tea is in the cup, right? There's my Midwest Industries. They make parts for our toys. And very good quality parts. I'm not sponsored by any of these people, but yeah, the Nomad Ezra Sumatran. Gonna smoke that because, as I was mentioning before, let's see what it says. What do I do for work? I work at the airport. I'm at work right now. The aspect of work that I do, I work in the cargo section of the airport. I'm rather new at it, but it's basically putting freight into our big 777 and 747 Boeing. So that job, as well as that industry, is going to be taking a hit. It is taking a hit. Everyone's like happy they're getting hours right now. I don't agree with it. I'm in terms of just being happy that you got hours, but the industry is bracing for itself. No one's really, actually, some people are talking about it. There were some layoffs at the company. not going to mention the company, but we're going to smoke the cigar anyways. There were some layoffs at that because we are essentially an air freight company. Stuff comes in via the air from Asia, from all over the world. It comes in from Dubai, it comes in from Copenhagen, from Brussels. It comes from Turkey, it comes from Saudi Arabia, it goes to those places. It comes from Anchorage and goes to those places. A lot of it, yes, is Chinese and Vietnamese. A lot. Is it the majority? Probably. Probably the majority of the stuff is from Asia, primarily Vietnam and China. And it's right now, I think that most people did the sensible thing that other companies did. They did the preload, right? They did it on ships too, where they bought a bunch of product and got it shipped, now before the tariffs hit the other day or whenever it was. So we were busy and there was a lot of full planes. Yesterday, that plane, we did 2 planes. One plane was full. The other one was a transport plane, nothing really staying here. And it wasn't empty per se, but it was, some live animals went out, some other stuff went out, but it was, look at the patina on this wrapper. Like, along with Ezra, I think Ezra does a lot of what Privada Cigars does, but Ezra sources their own tobacco, where Privada, I think, buys cigars already prefabricated, buys them. I don't know if they buy special allotments, which I think they do sometimes. They could relabel some, and then some they keep labeled and they store and age for you, which I think is a great idea. I can't give enough props to Privada Cigar Clubs. Look at that. Look at the patina. You guys aren't going to be able to see it. But this cigar, I've had it now for a few months, but man, yeah, nice aging on that wrapper. Before I used to be like, oh, that's bad. The flavor is all on the wrapper. Not anymore, right? I see that. I should have taken it out. And that's the other thing that we could discuss right now, but I need to be better at the prepping of my cigars. And now that we're at summer, it's because wintertime, I was getting a lot of seepage on my humidor. I wasn't being able to get, I need another humidor. Making excuse for getting another humidor. But so send me a humidor. Somebody wants to send me a humidor to test for my everyday smokes, one of those little smaller ones that holds 50, 100 cigars, or whatever. Send it over to me. I'll be more than happy to give my honest review, which is the dangerous thing of giving me a cigar or a product or anything to give a review, because I do extremely honest reviews. There's going to be no bias, no favoritism, like just because I was given something. Initially when I first started doing the cigar review things, that's what I wanted to get. I want to be like, hey, if I could get free cigars, people could send me cigars. And now it's like, I don't care. I don't even care. And it's like, it would be more problematic for me. And then what if I don't enjoy it? Like, I'm going to be like, oh, I don't enjoy this cigar. I still got to smoke it here to the end because I told the person I'm going to smoke it. And I'm here. And yeah, sure, it was a free cigar, but I just want to, if it's complete garbage, I'm just going to want to toss it away. So, so Nomad Ezra, I could feel already the temperature changing, people. But we're going to enjoy what last of it is. That's the other thing about doing those 16 hours in the job that I have is it was a beautiful day today and it was wasted. Right? Yeah, I had the I wouldn't say a flexibility, but I had the availability to enjoy the day. But after doing a 16-hour shift, I was like, I woke up and I was sort of okay, but not. Just felt a little different. And these are box pressed. Like, see the shape, little square. There's nothing wrong with the box press. Box press really just changes the draw. Oh, it's a little fermentation. That's okay. That's my hand. Okay, and I know exactly what it is. And see, this is why sometimes you shouldn't paw all your cigars. I was doing, not necessarily dishes, but yeah, doing dishes / is it the cigar or me? No, it's the cigar. Yeah, you shouldn't paw the cigar so much as I do. Man, that smells good, though. It has a little funk to it. Yes, funk is good. The G-Funk era. Yeah. Oh, yeah, don't put it in your nose. It's your fucking cigar. You're going to take the fucking cap off. You can do the cap off like this. You can fucking V-cut it. You can do whatever you want. Jesus Christ, you people. I guess, when you're in a crowd, you don't want to be, like they're going to be like, oh, look at this guy. Oh, my God. Oh, horrible. How unclassy, uncouth. Yeah, it is unclassy. I'm here in the backyard. It's okay. If I want to goof around and do that, I'm going to do that. Do I really get an actual sniff of the cigar from the cap? No, you don't want to sniff the cap anyways. Get it? Yeah, nice fermentation. It's been nicely fermented. How do I know what side of the V cutter to use? Pretty simple, guys. See that side right there? It has that hole, right? The other one has a circle. This one does not have a circle. The back does not have a circle. I don't know if you can see that well. See how you can see it? Oh, not cutting my finger. It's because it's a square back there, right? Whereas this one, or a ellipse where your finger isn't going to get through, this one has the circle with the cat's eye, right? That's how you know. Boom, simple. Ooh, look at how small that one was. See, but that's enough, right? That's enough. Yeah, that is enough. That is enough. That little pee cat's eye cut, in a box cut. Yes, I could take it again. I'm not going to. I could take the rest of the cap off with my fingers if I want to. There's no problem with that. Why bother? It's getting a draw. You're able to get a draw. Job is done. Don't complicate this, people. I see all the even professional cigar smokers. People complicate this process too much. Of the lighting of the cigar, of the cutting of the cigar, make such a big deal about it. You know why they make such a big deal about it? Because there's not a lot about the cigar to talk about, right? It's like these guys with the watches. They talk of the beauty of the watch. They're telling these watches, and they could talk about the horticulture or the actual, like, some of the aspects of the watch, but they're not going to know the technical specs of the watch. They're not going to know what the wheels are made of, what material this is. They're not going to get into the full, into the weeds of the construction. Or we can, but there isn't a lot to the cigar. There isn't a lot. Still holding up good, guys. This would be a good golf cigar, good cigar to walk around, hike around with. I could tell it's like well rolled, box pressed. It's not going to fall apart. As you saw, it fell down like, ooh, there's a little kid crying, poor kid. But you know what? That's how kids are supposed to cry. Supposed to fall down in the backyard, supposed to get a little boo-boo, right? So that the parents can actually, help them up, right? That's all part of growing up. You get a little scratch like I got when I was younger. Yeah, but look at how nice and easy it is to light this cigar now out here, huh? Look at that. That way up above, getting charred. You get the nice aromas right now off of that little charring. And my fingers are on the band, right? And that's a little more than I like to char it, but it's gonna work. And I get the little center a little bit. Oh, love that initial little char. And I can see where it's cherrying, right? You can see where I'm working it. And this is the cigar is part ritual, part like patience. You smell it smells really good, man. Like deep, rich. I love Sumatra tobacco, but I'm very partial to it. And I don't have to blow into it. I don't have to blow all around it. Oh, I love the aromas, man. I think lighting the cigar is one of the best parts of it is you get a hint of what the cigar is going to taste like, and you get the aromatics of the initial lighting of it are fantastic, and that's why it's so great to light it indoors. You get a lot better idea of it. But a cigar that you can smoke outdoors, like today, like this, I love smoking outdoors, people. Love it, love it, love it. Love to be in the mountains, right, along a ridge, a stream, in a boat. I'm in a boat. Boats and hoes, boats and homes. Oh yeah, see, it's lit. Look at that, it's lit, people. I thought some guy was gonna come and tell me. He was like, "I'll get that life for you, lit cowboy, playboy." Come on, dude. I've been doing this for a lifetime. Look at that, man. I'm not saying other people can't do it. It's lit. It's lit. It's lit. I could see that it's lit, that all over. Watch. Wow. All right, the last ones I got, the last 3 or 4, that's it. I'm not smoking any more of these for a while. Even these are, hello. Magda Lenza, Magda. Hola, Magda Ledezama. Magda Ledezama. Hey, what's up, everybody? Oh, wow, people came in. Yeah, I'm seeing the comments, people. I'm sorry. I was busy talking, right? I know I want to read the comments. I want to address you people. How horrible am I? I'm always saying, oh, there's nobody in my stream. I'm never talking to anybody. And then when there, yes, you're right. So when there are people in here, I'm ignoring you. My apologies. I was busy talking about the cigar. See, like, look at the draw we're getting. Great draw out of that little cut that I made. It looks bigger on the camera, but that little cut. That's all you need, people. So you could use your fingernails to do that. So hello, everybody. Welcome. Bow batters. Welcome, people that enjoy, that are Catholics. Welcome, Catholics. God bless you. Hopefully you go to confession this week from all the sins that you may have committed over the weekend, or ones that you're doing right now or tonight or today. Wow, what a fantastic draw. Very. Oh man, that finish is really nice. Needs a little chocolate. It's a very different leathery quality to it. A leather with a little like this. It has that tobacco. It has something that is. Am I? Okay, I guess I'm still okay. I was lagging there for a moment. But yeah, hello everybody. Hello. Hello, Major Tom. Major Tom coming in. Dude, gotta save these. It's good I have this with the chocolate because it has some strong cocoa characteristics. It is a little spicier, a little heavier, but I like those. But that one thing about the Sumatran tobacco, when I get it, it is good to sit on. It, like the Cameroon, the Sumatran is a very, very good tobacco to age. And so I've had these. I have to keep my dates, almost like I'm like when I purchased it. It's been almost a year that I've had this. And this is from their stock line, so it's hard to tell. Yes. I should have had something else to contrast it. It's 1990. Deep, rich chocolate with deep, rich chocolate. I should have had a contrast. I should have had the lighter chocolate with it. That cleans the palate. Yeah, super. Don't tell me that's a bug on me already. Out here at the nighttime. I don't want to see any bugs. What does it say on the side here? The Good Father. It's at Good Father. So it's the not the Nomad Godfather, the S307. I don't mind the companies doing that, like putting the putting a number to the style of cigar it has. It helps. The S307. It looks like I'm gaining weight again. I think it's from the oatmeal. I've been eating good. I'm eating a lot of granola, not oatmeal, but granola. I was watching somebody online, some fitness guy, who was saying that that if you want to gain weight fast, eat lots of granola and oatmeal. And I could see that. Right? It's almost like the beer that I would used to have all the time. That's why you get the beer gut. Right? Wrong chocolate to choose. The chocolate with the chocolate, because this has like these chocolate notes that are really deep. Almost like that. This is the strong chocolate. This is that 90% cacao. Like, look at how deep and rich it is. Like, it's hard to tell maybe on the camera there of how deep in its chocolate color here. Everybody left. That's okay, but thanks for checking in, people. "22 minutes. Where does the time fly?" So with the chocolate, I'm not really chewing on it. I'm more sucking on it. I'm also lathering the chocolate in the areas that the cigars would be lathered at, or on the top of the palate, right? Towards the back of the throat, or the back of the palate as well. I'm getting a nice film there, and then boom. Retrohaling is overrated. I don't like retrohaling cigars. Just did there, and unintentionally, really. I don't get, like, it's almost like smoking a cigarette. I don't like that. I don't like smoking cigarettes. Like, that's all the sort of, I don't get to pick up any notes or any flavor from it. It's almost like if you've smoked a cigarette before, people that have, when you've actually exhale through your nose or inhale and exhale through your nose, they're like, I don't like it. So that's why you rarely hear on the retrohale, like in terms of when I'm discussing a cigar. The Cubs will be playing here in a little bit. Did they already start? 7:10, 7:30? Beautiful night for a ball game. Beautiful night for anything here in Chicago. It was a beautiful day, too. But it's going to be a beautiful night. You just have your hoodie. You might get over there at the lake at the Cubs game, and you're going to be chilly if you brought your shorts. So you just need your jeans, a little sweater, your hat, your hoodie as a backup on the walk home. You'll be fine out there. It's going to be, not so much wind right now, but it is going to, should be picking up. I could tell there's a little wind out of the west, southwest, the way it looks like. Fred was asking if I saw the comments. Like, too bad I lost Fred. I lost everybody else here too. Shucks. Shucks, shucks, shucks. Look at that little hole, that nice draw, and it expands. So I didn't need to do a double cut. It's actually gotten bigger. It started off as a little teeny little hole on the cap, box press, the V cut. That's a no-brainer on this thing. I really thought it wasn't going to work out that well, but a punch would have been normal. No, this V cut has been my go-to. Been my go-to. Magda, I lost Magda, man. Magda, le desamo, le desama. Grab him a little chocolate like it was cocaine, huh? Remember that? Open those eyes. I would always like my eyes. It's hard for me to like. I'm a completely different person with my eyes open like this because I'm always. What a way to. For me, it's almost a start of my day. Slept the whole day away. When you work a crazy shift like that, it's so stupid. Hate that shit, man. Then again, I would have been out here in the sun. I wouldn't be able to read any of the comments. I'd be like squinting. It would have been. Now is the perfect time, right at sunset. You know, but I prefer to be doing this surfing. It's gonna be probably a good surf day these days. Believe it or not, even in May. I'm getting the feeling that sometimes like the waves from the storms and like waves are just somewhere all year round, even in places that are good, like in California. Like nowadays, you could surf every day. You know, like every day is going to be a good surf day. You know, there or almost every day. There's going to be a lot of surf now, more wave activity. I could be wrong. Probably am wrong. Probably am wrong. Mm. That chocolate is superb, and the finish of the chocolate is very similar to the finish of the cigar. A little tart, right? More coffee with deep, rich cacao, right? Which has this like fermented slash. It's not super sweet on the finish. It's a little chalky, right? Not quite chocolate. Has a different earthy texture. Yeah, and I've smoked these before, people. These Nomads. They make good smokes too. Nomad Ezra, they make some good smokes. They're a boutique maker. Make everything like these little batches of 5 and 10. I'd like to visit his operation a little bit better. See how he makes his or selects his cigars or what he's already has selected and then what he decides to make into what. Does he have already just like bales of tobacco that he blends there? Has somebody blend, he blends and then has somebody make for him? I don't know what his process is. I'd like to know a little bit more. And I'm certain on the internet, someplace he's there. He's talking about what he does as cigars. Sometimes he's maybe not telling everything. Although it's not a big mystery of what people do to make cigars, to make wine. It's something that you could study and that you could become a quote unquote expert at. In fact, viniculture is a class because genuine winemakers are both horticulturalists and almost chemists. Like, right? It's a combination of both. It's a combination of a chemistry and a agriculturalist or somebody that's a grower, right? You have to do both. So it's a Tuesday when I don't hear the crazy motorcycles out there. Everybody's, those motorcycle guys, they got a job. Those crazy guys in the cars, boom, in the cars and in the motorcycles. They have worked. Ooh, there's a beautiful gardener. He always likes hanging out on the power line up there. That's his spot. And he's looking nice and red. Ooh, there he goes. He flew off. Where did he go to? Boom. He's going up to the tree over here to my west, right, directly in view. And a lot of times I have to bring out the binoculars and soon once I have the canopy over here. In fact, I'm going to have to message my brother to see if he brings I'm going to grab something from him, like just a tent almost thing. I got an idea. I'm going to toss it to my brother. We'll find out. We'll be able to do it. We'll be able to do it. I think so, yeah. I think so. I think so, people. We're going to see. That's interesting. I definitely taste that fermentation. It needed to open up almost like a wine. I should have had this, and I was mentioning that's why I need another sort of. I usually been putting them in just in an open cedar box with cedar wrappers. I'd like to do that in a humidor. And I need to open up some of the tupperdoors and some of the ones I have, put it in a separate little with the cedar liner and open. Or in one of those humidors that breathes a little bit separate outside of the Frigidor I got, and open the cigars up for smoking, getting them acclimated to this environment. Oh, my tea is good. It's a chamomile with a little like coriander and a little not mint, but something there. And then I squeezed a little lemon, and that lemon and honey. That lemon and honey is really hitting the spot. There's that little baby again. But that's a good thing. They got to be outdoors in fresh air. Take advantage of these days when they're all ready. Oh, then yeah, nobody's in here yet. Nobody. Oh, there's one person. Nope, zero. That's okay. Mm. Yeah, very nice old worldly chocolate to a soft cedar, right? That soft earth tone. Not super oily, unfortunately. I like, my Sumatrans I like them to be a little richer than they are, but well aged. Very, very nice smoke. Very, very mellow. Love to see the planes. Love to see them. Let's keep that traveling going. Fuck Trump. Fuck these red states. Fuck the Republicans. It's America. You're allowed to travel. There's a lot of beautiful parts of the country. A lot of places that are red states. There are great parts of like Arkansas, for example. Good parts of Alabama. Good parts of Georgia. Louisiana. Mississippi's got, nice parts to it. Arkansas. Like Arkansas, for example, has like, do they have caves in Kentucky? I know in Kentucky they do, but in Arkansas. Mm-hmm. 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 See the tail waggling. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Super. Mm. Love it when there's no wind like this for a cigar. You know, the smoke stays around, you know, your orifice, you know, your face. Stays by the nose, stays by the mouth. It weighs heavy. This is a very rich smoke, even though it's not heavy per se, it's like rich. I'm gonna need to go and get my sweater soon. I don't like to get cold. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Mm, yeah, that's nice. That is nice. Mm, I wonder if people hear me. Mm, mm, mm. That's nice. Ah, I need the tea too. I wonder if that's why I didn't sleep. Sometimes on those little long shifts, I'm not drinking. I thought I drank enough water, but maybe I wasn't or didn't. Didn't drink enough water. Mm. Good choice. Good choice, Roberto. would like to talk a little bit about the MMA and gambling, but nobody's in here. Nobody is in here. I see a variation on the top sometimes there. Man, on the camera, the cigar looks beautiful, huh? That wrapper is really a testament to its flavor too. Nice deep chocolate. Not a ton of oil on it, so it doesn't have that lathery character to it. The smoke itself is rich, but not rich in terms of it's more silky or milky. It's or slight milk. It doesn't have like that oil part characteristic to it. Tom was here. Fred was here. Hey. Beautiful night. How are the Cubs doing? I don't work until tomorrow night. When you crush the chocolate, when you actually chew on it with the cigar, it really has a very similar character to the cigar. Very similar. I want to go down and get my hoodie, but then I'm going to lose that beautiful ash. Maybe not. I'm going to go and leave this here. I'm going to go and get my hoodie. Oh, is there anybody in the chat? Let's see. Nope. Still nobody here. And the ash held up really well. And then it dropped on me as I spoke that. As I spoke, it dropped on me. It's okay. Yeah, real nice. Love the Sumatran tobacco. Needed to open up a little bit, but right now I could taste like where it would be if I had opened it up. Because as you're smoking it, man, look at that. I think I'll watch Andor in a little bit with my mom. Make her watch TV with me. Something to look forward to. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. The cigar and chocolate is like my new go-to. My new go-to. New go. Oh, look at me! I'm wearing the Cubs and the Bears thing. Big no. Oh, this tea is fucking refreshing. And I think that'll be all the tea that I have today. Drinking a little too much tea. Next thing you know, I can't even fall asleep and using the washroom every like 10 minutes. I'm drinking like a gallon of tea. Somebody asked if I'm from Arizona. No, I'm not from Arizona, Jafar. I'm actually in Chicago. Come on, look at World Series champion 20. What was that? 2016. 9 years ago. We're still celebrating 2016 World Series champion. Big team, right? I'm in Chicago. Bears, Chicago. Beautiful weather here in Chicago. Shit, they wish they got weather. Maybe in northern Arizona, like in the mountainous area, the temperature would be like this in the evening, where it's still a little cool. Best time probably in Arizona is nighttime in the mountains. Probably beautiful. I look native. Thank you. I'm not native. I'm half Mexican, half Puerto Rican. I appreciate the compliment, though. I do have friends that are from New Mexico that are native. My nephew is native. My niece is native as well. So we have, oh, you're Iraqi Assyrian. Yeah, we have a great Assyrian population here in Chicago. Historically, been here a long time. A lot of the Assyrian people, hardworking, beautiful women, beautiful people, great food, important part of our community here. Not out there outspoken. I think there is a church. Like there's, both the Assyrians are both Christian and Muslim, I believe. Like they have a variety of people, and there are some Christian Iraqis, I believe, as well. I don't know if they're Catholics. The Assyrians are very close to Catholic. I think they practice. Some of them, the Christians there, are almost more of like a Catholic based um, religion, but I'm not positive of that. Oh, thank you, Jafar. I appreciate that. I'm well spoken. I appreciate that. Most people here, most people are not that intelligent. I am a studied anthropologist, right? I studied anthropology, so I'm very interested in various cultures. I should get more into Middle Eastern culture. Um, Very important to history, like the Ottoman Empire, which was part of course, the Persian Empire. At the same time that I study sort of I study just for fun. I watch YouTube stuff learning about, Mesoamerican societies, Incas, Aztecs, Toltecs, um, Olmecs, right? So I'm looking at, various old ancient cultures, and a lot of those cultures existed like in the 15th century, at the same time that the Persian Empire and the Middle Eastern Empire was at its height, right? Try studying Mesopotamia if you could. Yeah, I will. Yes, of course. Yeah, it's there where the fuse was lit. I think so. I think a lot of cultural and technological might have started there, and there is a potential connection. Here's the thing, and of course it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a theory that a lot of, even because if you look at like a lot of Aztec and even Inca, as well as the Olmec culture, and by that I mean specifically their language base and their number base information, very similar to Egyptian and that region sort of area. So there is this theory that there was this travel culture, right? That it's possibly that the Aztecs and the Mesoamericans were influenced before Columbus, before Inquisition, were influenced by potentially travelers from the Middle East. That is a theory. Yeah, the glyphs, right? And you're saying that the Zugats in Iraq are very similar to the Aztec temples. Yeah, a lot of these temples have a certain, and why we're able to draw inferences and connections to them is because they were very defined, right? The structures. I don't know about the Iraqi and the ones in the Middle East, that they were celestial orientated, right? They were when the temples were created specifically to coincide with periods of the sun, right? And so the layout was intended, or the design was intended for ritual. And I don't know, of course, that of the Middle East, but that's very important, right? I don't know if the again, I have to study that. I have to look at the Middle East, because it is not really, again, it's theory, and a lot of people do not follow that theory. The equatorial line. I don't know if it's the Aztec temples have been engineered for sound. That's possible. Um, what I would say there, it's like a lot of them are cave orientated, similar to the Egyptians, but the Egyptians were more, their temples were more tombs, where the Aztec temples were both residences, supposedly, right? Allegedly and supposedly, tombs, and not just tombs, but they were also meant for ritual, right? They were spiritual centers and commerce centers, as well as political centers. Again, that's all inference. Unfortunately, unlike the big difficulty in Mesoamerican architecture and culture studying it, is that, for example, the Aztecs, as well as the Olmecs and Toltecs, are the temples, as well as their societies, were based in marshlands, in wetlands. So a lot of the artifacts, the hard artifacts, the things that were made out of clay or wood, the only things remaining are stone, because the wetlands, the water, and the environment just reclaimed all the artifacts. That's why there's so few artifacts, and some of the stone itself is worn down, right? It was more, the stone was more of a facade, and really underneath the stone was really just dirt, right? So could have been. That's why there's plenty of areas in Central America where they know that there were pyramids and there were temples and there were like these structures that are no longer there, but they could still see the layout, right? Because they could see the stratification of the dirt, and that's where that geology which is very important to archaeology now, at least in Mesoamerica, of strata, right? Examining what the soil were and the different soil in these areas. They could say, hey, this soil is not native to this area. It comes from the coast, or it came from 100 miles away, and they see layers of it. And so they are able, just from the dirt, as well as the layout of the dirt, determine that there was a temple there, but there's no more rock, there's no artifacts, there's nothing there except for the strata of the dirt. There might get lucky, find a cave that might have some stones, that might have some arrowheads or some trinkets, but not a lot, right? So it's become very challenging. Okay, so you're saying the sound again. I wouldn't say that the temples were made for sound. They worked for that, right? But they were really intended to coincide and to align themselves to periods of the year and the sun, right? Particularly the summer solstice, right? And you will see that the temples in Mesoamerica really align to two dates. I believe it's in February, the first spring solstice in February, and then another solstice later in the year. So what that leads me, again, and this is just completely off the cuff inferences, that there were two main ceremonies possibly in a year, two main or primary religious ceremonies for those societies, right? That's where they aim for, right? So yeah, Mesoamerica is very cool because it's all mystery. Ooh. And it's more challenging to solar eclipse is very important to them. Yes, solar eclipses and the eclipses and the solstice were extremely important to the Aztecs and Mesoamerican cultures, and all of them, the Incas, the Aztecs, the Toltecs, the Olmecs, all were centered around those solar eclipses. So yes, that's what, and those temples were designed to accentuate and to coincide with those celestial occurrences. So, and there could have been more. We don't know. Like, there's just a lot of inferences, and it's hard because there's nothing in print. There's not a lot of writing. Like, we're lucky with the writing that we do have because it's in a tablet form, right? So that there's these main tablets in stone that lasted, but nothing in terms of dialogues, nothing in terms of laws that may have been written, things that could have been written in wood, or that were written in paint, because you'll find that a lot of the Aztecs were big into painting. Like, their temples were painted. They painted their temples with a certain material. They painted it red or white, for example. I believe, is it one of the temples that still exists, that still has, like near Cancun, still has that white sulfuric paint, a paint that they used to paint their society. And they guesstimate, and there's a theory that a lot of the Aztec, the Olmec, as well as the other Mesopotamian, if you look at a temple, it's nothing like you would think now. It actually would have been colored. It would have had various colors from clays, from pigments that they found in plants, as well as in the ground, and that there would have been, there was paint on the buildings. It wasn't just stone, like we assume. Like, when you look at the Egyptian temples, and you just instantly think of this cream colored, yellow colored stone. And when you think of Aztec, you just think of this rough, volcanic, brown and slight gray color, when really it more than likely was painted. It had figures and white and reds and browns and other and greens and other colors that could have been made from various pigmentations. But we don't know this because there weren't photographs. And as I mentioned before, it was in a marshland. Most of their societies were on wetlands, right? And that's the other thing that's tough to really approve a lot of these theories, is because even if they used canoes or boats or rafts, those things are gone. We don't have any of that archaeological information to really substantiate a lot of the things that people talk about. So, and it's probably the same with Egyptian culture and things around the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers, right? Like, the cultures that live there, in terms of like their seamanship, isn't the same as like what happened in the Middle Age and in Europe, where we can, not just the ships has lasted, but some of the things have lasted because they use different materials, different woods that are more enduring. And then they had metal, right? They used metal in a way that other ancient cultures didn't use metal to in their engineering of their ships and their crafts, weapons, and other things like that. So some of the things that you will find throughout Central America, Costa Rica, for example, even is a lot of the gold, a lot of the metal, the nickel, which is very interesting that they even got to that point. Like the amount of metallurgy that occurred in that area, that they had the intelligence, or that already aspect of technology is very interesting as well, right? To make gold medallions. And it wasn't for assignment of wealth. All of it, of course, again, goes back to ritual. Yeah, same. The Egyptian pyramids were supposed to be smooth. Yeah, I don't know about the Egyptian pyramids, and I don't know if they were supposed to be painted, right? And that's one thing, that there's a theory that both Aztec pyramids as well as the pyramids from the other ones were painted, right? Jafar says he also finds it weird that they say first written language was made in Mesopotamia, but Mesoamerican developed their own writing system independently without external influence. See, Jafar, no, that's an argument that we don't know that. There is a theory that says that it was influenced by Mesopotamia. Like there's a common figure or a common glyph of somebody holding these bags, right? And there's an interpretation that these bags may have been travelers. Like they were the ones that genuinely, quote unquote, planted the seed that came from other places. Like that they were bearing these bags, these sacks that they gave were actually travelers, people from a different world, different part of the world, or a different world that may have influenced them. So there is, and there are similarities, right? It's not the same. So there is a theory that they weren't independent, right? That they were indeed influenced by Mesopotamian writing and math. So that's just a theory, of course. And again, the challenge of, it's all conjecture, it's all speculation. Like we just don't have anything concrete that could define anything except for the raw archaeological science that we have to use. I used to be against this stuff, but we're using raw science then to make extrapolations and develop opinions about culture. And that's always risky. That's always risky. It opens up, it's just too much. You're jumping from a stone or something that is material made, and then you're making a cultural or social interpretation based on that material. And it's just not, it's apples and oranges to get to get oranges again, to get apples. And you just can't do that. So wow, man, I really like listening to you. This is interesting. I subscribe. Thank you. Yeah, I don't always talk about this stuff, but I've been in my free time on YouTube. It's something to really check out. Something. I mean, if you have free time, yes, it's good to watch people cooking food. It's funny to watch the dogs, being silly in your house, or the cats, or funny joke videos. But it's also good sometimes to, like, when you're on YouTube, you could actually learn shit. That was the whole point of the internet back in the day, was to actually spread knowledge, was to create a knowledge base where you didn't need to go to a library. Notice people do not go to libraries anymore. I could make amazing educational content. Yeah, I mean, it's not really my forte, but we do discuss, like, because where it came from is like wanting to develop the origin of cigar smoking, right? Like that's where my interest came from. And people were saying that it was the Olmecs that developed, possibly, or the Aztecs had influence, or even the Incas, in cigars. And that's not the case. Like everybody just infers, because there is this product there, that was the start of cigars. And I'm going to not agree with a lot of those people. And if they were there, the cigars were completely different. It's nothing like we have today. Like cigars are very much a Spanish and more of what we know today. These things are more of a New World influence, or Old World to New World influence. Like if there were cigar smoking or smoking in that era, it was more what the indigenous Americans has. It was more grass smoking, right? It wasn't necessarily the tobacco leaf, or it could have been. We don't know. but it was more than likely a grass, a different wild grass that was being smoked than a cigar, right? That was rolled very similar, that would have been rolled, but it's completely different. And again, these are just all speculations, right? Being Mexican, you actually have a genetic link to Indonesians. Here's the thing. Again, going back to genetics, and I've listened to this. Believe it or not, it's a combination. It could be a combination of both. And where people do not, and this is where people are going to trip out, or you might find um, erroneous or whatever. We actually have there's most Mexicans now have a couple of genetic prints. The main one is actually Serbian, supposedly, to a genetic scientist, and I have to go and review that and write to the guy and talk a little bit more, but not Serbians like we would know of today as Europeans. I'm talking like Neanderthal Serbians, like from Europe in that region, but from thousands of years ago, talking from like the first millennia or even before Christ. It might have been more of the genetic mix-up of some indigenous peoples, right? Yeah, I was mind blown too, the Serbian. But it's not what Serbian and what we think of today, right? The Serbians of today, the white Anglo Serbians, are different than what the people look like or were, 3,000 years ago, right? So but there is some genetic, and I don't know how the guy derived the genetics, but there is a guy who's a geneticist, right? I trust him. He does stuff on Mesoamerican and Aztec culture, and that's what his specialty is. So, yeah, prehistoric Serbians, yes, which is completely different. Mm-hmm. Balkan like hunter gatherer. So think of it: before the Vikings, before Africans, before Asians, because there's this theory that the Chinese and Asians were there. It might have been this Serbian hunter gatherer that came across, that traveled into this region, like way before everybody, right? Which is pretty damn interesting. And that's what we have now. And we have to give some legitimacy to that level of genetic science, right? Which is tough too, right? Like, where are they gathering the genetic prints or imprints of to then make these interpretations? How many people in Mexico? Um, he's saying, this guy Jufor is saying many migrations happen. I'd agree, and that's actually something that you will see in both Aztec, and that they share Aztec, Incas, Olmec share this theory of this traveler, that this person with this bag, it's this glyph of a person with a bag that might have been the person that was spreading knowledge, from a different place. Oh, okay, there we go. Nomad, Ezra, Nomad, a perfect idea, perfect for our discussion, the nomads, right? So that there may have been a class of individual that was not from, that understood the practices and looked very much like a native, but that wasn't native, that they were a traveler. They went, because the Olmecs apparently supposedly are the grandfathers or the mothers of the rest of that region. And even in their glyphs, they have this image of a person that has this bag. And they're assuming now, or there is this theory that the person with the bag was a traveler from a different part of the world, period. Right. So, and this is tough because the glyphs, I believe, and some of the stones that they have there date from, I believe it's the 12th century, or just about the first century, AD. So like the first century, like 1008, 1000 AD. Yeah, I don't know when it could have been happening. Again, I should get better at plotting all of these connections out, and I think that's the key, is plotting these connections and getting a better idea of what. And a lot of the archaeologists and anthropologists, this is what they're doing. They're wanting to get a unified theory of cultural history, right? And it really shows the interconnectedness. That's why I like our politics now, and the way that we behave with the borders behave is so useless. And so it's not the way we used to do things. In our films and our videos, the foreigner was always killed, was always evil. And I would say that in ancient cultures, the foreigner was not evil. That the foreigner was not um, vilified and was not instantly killed. They weren't always revered as a god, but they were open to travelers. These societies were open to new people, and that's probably what fucked up the Aztecs. They probably welcomed the Spaniards, right? They welcomed the Spaniards and openly opened the door to their own decimation because they didn't fight them. They viewed them as collaborators in sharing information, more than likely. The tea is done. But yeah, that's something to do more studies on, Jafar. Thank you for starting this discussion, because I like talking about this stuff, and I obviously need to do more studying on it. My specialty is more modern Latin American history, or at least my educational interest was in that. But now I'm switching it back to more of the ancient cultures, and I need to learn more of talking about the migration patterns, more about the genetic stuff, more about the geology, to really just get. It's going to take all these disciplinary sciences to get us a better idea and understanding of what societies and cultures were at that time period. So it isn't just about, and I think we focus too much on conquest. We focus too much, not just on the Euro, but on conquest. And I think probably even the Middle Easterns, the Arab culture focuses, and even Africans, we focus way too much, and people that are Afrocentric focus too much as Africa being the center of this. Everybody wants to center around themselves without really looking at the interconnectedness of everyone, which is going to be an easy theory, right? That, okay, there was this intermixing, this genuine real melting pot. The real melting pot is the world, not America, right? It's this part of world where there was less people, right? There was less people, and if you saw a traveler, you're like, whoa. Like, and it happened even in Aztec culture. Like, some of these cultures, we don't understand why certain cities were abandoned. There was in a lot of the Mesopotamian cultures, the Olmecs as well as Toltecs were migrant cultures. They themselves migrated to different parts of the lands, probably depending on the season. They don't understand why they would abandon these temples that were completely functional and good, but they abandoned them. They were like, we're out of here. They went to. It could have been something with the wetlands increasing. They exhausted the soil where they were growing corn or other materials to survive. I don't know, and a lot of people don't know. There isn't a lot of information on that. But that not only like were the Middle Eastern the we're talking about nomads, nomad cigar. Not only were people in the Middle East a nomadic culture, it is quite possible that ancient American cultures, the Aztecs and everything, other people were also nomadic. That's why in that movie Apocalypto, for example, which is a great movie, like when the Aztecs came and started to conquer a lot of the other little smaller tribes, they were new. They were like, hey, we don't know who these people are. And they were welcomed at first. They were all cautious, but they were welcome, like, hey, because everybody was literally in their own world. Like, right, their villages, people didn't extend the way we do now. They didn't reach out to other parts of the world thousands of miles. They would, we're separated probably just a few 100 miles or maybe 1,000 miles, and it was a completely different culture, different language, different people, different practices, right? So that's pretty interesting stuff. Mm, yummy, yummy, yummy. Really nice cigar. I love to smoke this thing at the end like this. Not bitter. Has that clay, really old, rich, the end of almost the chocolate, a lot of cacao. not super sweet, not peppery. The cedar is sort of gone. It still has that more of like that old leather, like a leather character that it's not just the aroma, but the texture of it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna chew on some leather. Mm. Yeah, that chocolatey finish is not a sweet chocolate. It's a genuine cacao. So I shouldn't even use the word chocolate. It's more of a genuine cacao, which is chocolate finish, and it's also because of the 90% chocolate that I'm eating. But it's both and both. It's like a double whammy or double bazooka, bombarded with the chocolate. And my color is going to lose my lighting here. Love this lighting though. Mm. Well, we're going to study more of this stuff. Mm. But thanks for anybody that came in. Thanks for anybody that's been listening to this stuff. I appreciate it. Mm. Yeah, that cacao, rich, clay almost, earth, that strong earth, not peat, but I like that clay. It goes with our discussion that we were talking about, right? Of ancient cultures, of ancient flavors, like an older flavor set that's not fruit, that's not um, sort of agro food based, not corn, maize. It's actually more the dirt, and I love that dirt taste. I love that's what where the I think that's different from wine, viniculture, and from other aspects of things that we enjoy are that cigars have, very much a earth tone to them, right? An earth base. Yes, it's a fruit to an extent, fruit of the earth. It's not quite a fruit, it's a plant, of course, but that it has that element that you could really taste the earthiness and the richness of the soil to an extent. And it's not like really like, oh, I'm throwing some dirt in my mouth, even though, yeah, you could, right? But it has that element to it that is very nice. It's very enjoyable. And I'm still continuing to learn. And I would encourage people like just don't use YouTube for, and I use it for too much, like for relationships. I'm addicted to my boy, The Godfather, right? I don't know why. I have a very healthy relationship with someone that, I don't really need, it's just an understanding of men and female dynamics, right? Even that is interesting, right? The way we partner and pair with loved ones now, and our sense of romance, and our purposes in um, pairing with people is different than what it was. I wonder what relationships were 1,000 years ago. Like what the significance was of marrying somebody, having children, and how all that played out. And again, in Mesoamerica and Aztec culture, we don't have a ton of information on this, right? Of how people just live day to day, like how they chose who they married, what they did on a daily basis. We assume a lot. There's a lot of assumptions, and some of those assumptions probably have a lot of some validity, or even a lot of validity to them. It's just hard because we don't have the recording ability that we have today, right? So today, at the end of everything said and done, when the we're all gone and the world, like some other culture comes, whether AI or some other alien culture comes, what's going to be left is all our buildings, and this culture will be around because there's going to be so much. There's going to be electronic recordings. There are going to be hard drives around. There's going to be books and tons of print and stuff that will survive a Holocaust, that will survive a nuclear catastrophe. There will still be record of us and a history of us, right? That's why that Fallout, that's another great sci-fi. Yeah, now even if the world is set on fire, we'll have part of our history, a lot of it will survive. So the next people studying us, 2,000 years, 3,000 years from now, will have a big base. They'll have a very good understanding of how we coupled, how we live day to day, our religion, our science, our art. A lot of that they'll have an idea. They'll have that to study, right, in the future. Especially if there's a zombie apocalypse. That's one thing that I didn't see very much or very well, or maybe I didn't catch those episodes of like The Walking Dead or that sort of zombie apocalypse experience where they didn't show these enclaves of where like museums, like people, there's going to be these areas like they had it in the Terminator where like, inside a cave, there's just all this information of our culture. And that sort of happens in Fallout. And that's what like those Fallout vaults are. The vaults are vaults, not just for people, but of culture, science, right? It's all in there and it survives. Great cigar. Good cigar. Now I know like another one that I can't just smoke on a whim. Yeah, there goes that 7:30 start time tomorrow. I don't want to put it down. I don't want to put it down. I want to smoke it to the end, even though it's getting dark out here. I'm starting to lag. Joey, I'm finally lagging. Finally lagging. But we're getting close to my mom's bedtime, and I want to watch Andor on the big TV. Because I'm having a problem with getting Disney on my computer for some reason. And for me, this is the best part of the cigar, the nub, or near nub. Final third, the final part of the cigar. See that richness, the big smoke, the nice draw. All the oils have coagulated into the final bit of it, so you get the more robust sort of flavor profile of it. I could save Andor for tomorrow or for a different day, but no, you know why I don't? It's because everyone comes out with the content tomorrow. I'm going to put the cigar out. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to stop talking, but thank you for joining this stream. If you've made it this far, you are about better. Thank you so much. Everybody that's been chatted, participated. Have a good week. We will be discussing mixed martial art and having another cigar very, very soon. We're going to get some good weather. Unfortunately, not on my days off, but we got some good weather coming. So we're going to be smoking out here. We're going to be enjoying ourselves, talking about different stuff. And I'm going to get better information for you on ancient cultures as well as cigar stuff and just discussion of various other things as possible. So thank you for anybody that's participated. Awesome. Awesome discussion. Awesome live.